right. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Good, good, good. All right, cool. Well, I hope everybody is having a good Father's Day and
Good,
a
good,
wonderful,
good.
blessed weekend. And we are here again, guys, with Paul with Algo 382 for our weekly Elliott Wave analysis, riding the waves with John and Paul. Paul, how's it going out there?
Hey, good, John. Thanks for asking. Nice in
Awesome.
Colorado.
Out in Colorado, nice. I heard you had a nice day out there today.
Yep, yep.
Very good,
Good
very good.
weather.
Yeah, it's a little hot down in here in South Carolina, but it is what it is. So maybe it'll cool down a little bit this evening. So we'll see how that goes. But anyway, guys, really excited to have Paul here tonight. Go over this Elliott Wave stuff for another week. So this week's topic is going to be the bear trap, and Paul's going to go over a couple things that Elliott Wave can give us clues on what might be a bear trap. And I think it's kind of appropriate here for the market this week. So before we get started, though, everything we're going to talk about is for educational purposes only and not investment advice. So please take a moment to review this disclaimer. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Good, good, good. All right. So first what we're going to do is we're going to check and see where we left off the market on Friday, and then we're going to take a look at the futures, see what we're up to or down to here this evening, and then we'll turn it over to Paul, and he'll go over the topic here, Elliott Wave topic, and then he'll also throw in any charts that he's interested in. I'll put a couple charts, one or two charts that I'm interested in, and then if there's time left over, we'll go through questions and chart requests. So let's get started. All right, so SPX guys, woo! We had our first kind of reddish stuff in a while. Monthly chart, right? We still got about a week and a half left here on the monthly chart, but it is right now. If it closed like this, it'd be a bearish engulfing candle, right? A real body is engulfing the prior candle right there. So a little bit scary off that. Now, last week did finish with a bearish engulfing candle here. It doesn't mean we're going to get complete follow to the downside. In fact, we had a bearish engulfing candle right here on the weekly chart, and you can see we actually gapped up the next day and then ripped into like the next week too. So that's definitely something to keep an eye on right there. McClellan oscillator is still, it's actually over zero right now, so we're still okay. We're not in super crash zone, but you never know. We might get a reasonable pullback to the mid Bollinger Band here on the weekly chart before we see another bounce, right? So let's keep an eye on that one. As for the daily chart, right? So we actually had a pretty rough day, right? So we had this kind of this doji sandwich down, and we ended up closing below the 50-day moving average, right? So that's a key line in the sand there for the market, right? So we definitely want to keep an eye on that. We've done it before, right? We closed below it here. This is back in March. We closed below it, and then we actually worked our way back up again, right off of it, right? So ended up making a move there. So let's see if we get kind of a similar type move. I wouldn't be surprised if we actually tagged the daily cloud right here and then started to bounce. So kind of keep that on the radar as well. Elliott Wave wise, and Paul will be reviewing more of the wave count on this one here. But basically, what we saw going into this week. Let's see if I can get my where's my most recent count right here. I wish it was. I wish these things would just kind of save here. Okay, I got a couple different counts here, but the one that we've been tracking for a while. There we go. So this one here, guys, we can kind of see this ending diagonal in this last wave right here. Kind of had that rising wedge type look to it. And once that started to break down, we were like, okay, let's see how this goes for an ABC. Right, we can kind of see it may have already put in an ABC, but this impulsive drop right here with the gap may imply that this could actually be a 1, 2, 3, 4 triangle, and we might be finishing up a wave 5 right here. If that is the case, that could be the end of the ABC. We could start working our way up. It just all depends on how far it wants to go. There is an open gap down here on the 60-minute chart, which could take it down pretty low down to the 41.16 level before it starts to bounce, right? So we want to definitely keep an eye on that. Let's take the futures and see what we're up to or down to here this evening. So keep in mind, guys, we had quad witching on Friday. So we had option expiration on the monthlies, the weeklies, the futures, and the futures. The June contracts are gone, right? So just about everybody's going to be trading the September's, and so that was just the closing of the majority of the contracts there. Looks like we're kind of drifting up a little bit higher now. We're down about 5 points from the settlement from Friday, or from the close on Friday. So let's just see how this holds going into this evening. You can kind of see we're starting to lose this geometric line right now. So we'll see if that holds up here this evening. If not, we may come back and retest these lows, this 41.40 area, and then we'll see how that holds going into the rest of the night. So if they can work their way up, I wouldn't surprise if we found a little bit of resistance in this area right here around 41.70, and then if they get above that tomorrow, then we might see a little more constructive action, right? So we're definitely going to be keeping an eye on these levels. So good stuff. So good. So we've got Paul here joining us again, and we're going to be doing our show here, riding the waves with John and Paul. And today, Paul's going to be talking about the bear trap. So Paul, what's a bear trap, and how do you spot those in Elliott Wave?
A bear trap is pretty much when everyone is thinking bearish and it looks bearish, and the tables turn and the market goes up, and the bears get trapped.
Nice. We've seen that
Yeah,
plenty of times.
yeah, yeah. It seems to happen quite a bit.
So what kind of counts are you seeing out there that might turn into a bear trap here this week?
Well, let me get through here. Here's my count that I'm. This would be my primary count. Where I think we're still going up and finishing wave five and an ending diagonal here
Oh,
is what I'm
nice.
thinking.
Okay, cool. So you're
Uh,
seeing kind of a similar type pullback right there as well, and then a potential bounce.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, everything looks super duper bearish in the market. We had our first big breakdown of the upward trend line on the SPX chart. So, it doesn't surprise me to see folks, getting that kind of bearish sentiment, right? But I'd still like to see a little bit more confirmation.
Yeah, I mean, we had this gap down here, and we broke this low right here. We're way below the ADMA, so it does look pretty bearish in a way, sure. Um, some bearish counts I was looking at. A lot of you can say wave five is in right here,
Yeah,
and so we could be in a 3-4 triangle where we're just starting this big A move down, A B C D E for a triangle. Um,
and then
we
then
could,
boom, another wave up. Yep, that's a possibility. So we could see
yep,
some down moves and some chop for a little bit.
yeah, if we get this sideways triangle, or we could get a wave four zigzag, um, or a wave four flat. So those are pretty much the bear counts that are out there.
Right.
Um, I kind of think this wave five is still going. I have us doing one more push up until we complete it, and then we get the sell off.
Nice.
Is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, it seems like it feels like a little bull trap-ish, right? So we'll see what they have in store tomorrow. So the big thing that we're looking at going into tomorrow is the fresh options, right? So we just had big OPEX on Friday. A lot of times that type of the type of move that we saw on Friday is kind of something that you'd see into like quad witching or into an option expiration. So once we get that, basically the way it comes down to, right, is that all that gamma came off for the market makers, and so there's going to be a bunch of new gamma coming on. So let's see which way they try to hedge this thing, right? So if we start to see a bunch of calls coming in and hitting the tape, pretty early this week, we could see that this whole market start to reverse back to the upside pretty sharply, especially if they're hedging on the long side too. So that could be very interesting.
Yeah, I think there's a good chance. I mean, price right now still has not hit the 618. If we dip below the 618 and 786, I would turn pretty bearish. But
Yeah.
um, I think we're going to get a bounce out of the golden zone, is what I'm thinking.
Okay. Yeah, definitely worth keeping an eye on here this week. So cool. Let's see if this whole this big down move turns into a big bear trap going into next week.
Sounds good.
Nice. What else have you got on the radar?
Let's see. I was looking at some other counts for the other impulse for the other indexes, and the Qs look pretty bullish. They didn't get near a drop like SPY did. I still have
Yeah.
it in 1-2-1-2. Um, yeah, they don't look bearish at all. We're above the 618. We're above the cloud. Um, so bullish on the Qs. Um, IWM had a pretty big ABC. Looks
Oh
like
yeah.
this could be a five wave, and we're just dipping into the golden zone right here. So I'll see if the golden zone holds and we get a bounce out of here.
Lots of relative weakness on the IWM and the XLF, right? So the banks was really kind of weird stuff. I'm gonna go. I'm just gonna pull it up right here real quick on the banks.
Okay.
Guys, last week was just such an interesting week, right? So, guys, don't forget, everything's kind of getting interesting now. Everybody's kind of forgetting that we were just kind of running through a lot of chop, right, recently, right? So, if you go back to the SPX, right, ever since before Memorial Day, right, we had these 3 days before Memorial Day, it was just like really low volume, right, really low range. Then after Memorial Day, you got a little bit of move, then we just kind of just chop, 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 chop back up, right? And it wasn't until this week where things started moving again as we expected, right? We had Fed Day on Wednesday, right? So a little irritable pal syndrome right there, and then a nothing kind of day on Thursday, and then Friday was quad witching day, right? So those are the two big events that were going on this week, and we had big moves off of those days. Now, unfortunately, right, those were the red days, right? So those were the days that that ended up moving. They couldn't push it green right any farther those days. So that's going to be kind of one of the big worries, right? The big thing about Fed coming up this week, everybody's going to be thinking inflation and tapering and all that stuff. But one of the big narratives out there during this whole time has been the XLF. Right now, the XLF has had an epic run up, but all the way before it was already kind of front running the Fed. In the last week or so, right? A lot of these bank names have been really, really weak, right? And what was interesting is on Fed days, they actually went green, right? So if you kind of go back here, you can see, and this is the stuff that we put in the bubble report every day, which is our morning report. And by the way, Paul puts in 2 fresh Elliott Wave counts in the bubble report each market morning, right? So if you guys want to get 2 fresh wave counts in your email box by 7:30 a.m. Eastern time, be sure to sign up for the bubble report. Links are in the description. So you can get Paul's wave counts and that you can get our morning analysis on the market. And what was interesting here on Fed Day is the banks ripped, right? So they like the idea of potentially increasing interest rates. Why? Well, the higher interest rates are for banks, the more profit they have a chance of making, right? So at least in theory, right? And so those got a big move up. So it was like, okay, after Fed Day, and they were kind of gapping up a little bit, getting a little fall through the upside. And then we saw strength in the market on Thursday morning and weakness in the banks. So what we assumed was that we were going to get a technical move to return to the scene of the breakout, right? And in that case, we got this in the XLF. We also returned to the scene of the breakdown on the SPY, and then everything just kind of ended up working its way down. And this relative weakness here in the banks has actually started to weigh on the market, right? So they really kind of backed away from that relative strength they had on that, and they just kind of started to digest it. And they're like, wait a second, they're not planning on raising rates till 2023. So that doesn't really help us, right? And so we've just seen this nasty down move here in the banks. And Thursday was just that irritable pal syndrome, just that huge day down with increased volume. And Friday we got some big fall. Look at the volume on this, guys. Huge volume here on the banks here, closing below the cloud. So in order for this market to really get poised up, the banks really need to kind of get some stability and maybe start to try to at least grind their way up a little bit to show some support there on the market. That's one of the big things that we've been looking at there. So anyway, Paul, yeah, so pretty wild stuff. So
Yeah.
just these sectors, the way the interplay of it. So the IWM, like you mentioned, was down, and it's the banks are heavily weighted in the IWM, and so they've been kind of front running that market there. And so let's see if they do start to get a bounce right here off of that. That could imply maybe that the banks are ready for a bounce as well, and that could maybe overall be strong for the market. So another potential bear trap there.
Yeah. We'll see tomorrow for sure. I'm thinking tomorrow we'll get a red open and it'll start to go down. And when everybody gets short, boom, then we start going back up.
Nice.
One thing on the SPY chart I wanted to show you guys is we had a wave 1 and 2, and in wave 3, pretty much to the tick was an exact 1.618, which gives me confidence that this really is a wave 3 and we're going to get a wave 4. And this is a pretty deep wave 4, but I'm leaning bullish out. We're going to dip down tomorrow morning and then pop right out of the golden zone is what I'm thinking.
Nice. And because that wave 4 is overlapping wave 1, any diagonal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it would be a wave 5 ending diagonal, and these break down into ABCs.
Nice.
And for ES, let's see
I
here.
love this one right here.
Yeah, this is an ending diagonal, and you can see they're all ABCs. ABC, ABC, ABC.
Yeah.
This wave 3 is not an exact 1.618, but we're in the channel. The 618 for wave 4 is about right here. So I'll be real curious to see how low we go tomorrow and if we do get a bounce out of here.
Wow. Right to the bottom of the channel right there. Really cool stuff.
Yeah.
Nice.
We were playing SPY a lot last week. We had our eyes on it, and this was on a 45-minute. This is one of the ones we were watching. I think this is Thursday. We came down to the 618, and we started to bounce here, and I was like, okay, we're getting the bounce out of 618. And then I was looking at the 5-minute, decided to take a long here, and this was a play we did in the
Oh, wow.
yeah, we got a nice little push there.
And this is right from the Discord in the group, right?
Yep, this was
Nice.
something we did in the Discord, and I thought we had a 1-2, and I thought we were going to keep going up, but we did not. Then we had the big sell-off on Friday.
On Friday.
Yeah,
Still a nice bounce there, though. It was it kind of was looking like an inverse head and shoulders. Everything was looking bullish going into the close, and then Friday just happened. It was just like, that type of thing.
yeah,
But still a great find on that SPY there in the Discord. Good job.
yeah. So yeah, that was pretty much it.
Nice. Good. Yeah. So I don't really have much on the radar, guys. Like I said, one of the big things I'm looking at is obviously the XLF. Right. I'm looking for this to hopefully make a bounce too, and it's very similar to the IWM. Right. You got this A, B, C pullback right here. Right. So I mean, you can kind of get this. You can put a Fibonacci here. Oops. Up to here, right? And that's right at the 618 as well, right? So let's see if the banks try to get a bounce off of this. So that's definitely something to keep an eye on. The other one I got, if things are bearish and still get some bearish, I've got Netflix on the radar. To me, I'm thinking this is a 1-2, 1-2, 1-2 on the bearish side. I mean, Netflix just has to break down eventually, right? It's got to do something, right? So I'm kind of seeing this as what was I looking at here? Is like kind of this 1, 2, right? This 1, 2, and then a 1,
There you go. Yep.
and then a 1, 2. So I mean, it's possible, right? So I mean, come on, Netflix, just break down and let's go. Get out of this channel. Give us something to work with here. I mean, this thing has been range bound for so long, but it just looks like it wants to turn the corner, and we'll see. I don't know. They're jacking up prices, and they don't have any good programming, and it's just time. But anyway, we'll see. So keep an eye on that one. We'll see what Netflix does. This is known for just being easily contained within these ranges right here, and we'll sometimes see green, red, green, red, green, red, green, red. So just keep an eye on it, and we'll look for any relative weakness on it. See if it tries to play out that 1-2, 1-2, 1-2 here on the bearish side. But other than that, that's all I've got on the Elliott Wave radar going into this week's here so far. Paul, you've got yours out there. So guys, it's your turn out there in Elliott Wave land. So feel free to plug in some chart requests out there. Just try to plug in like 1 or 2, just in the interest of time for everybody, and we'll try to touch on as many as we can. We might not necessarily be able to get through all of them, but we'll do the best we can. And so we'll go from there. And if you have any questions about Elliott Wave too, also feel free to plug those in the chat box as well. We'll do our best to try to answer those too. So good stuff. All right, Paul. So we've got a few out there. So surely send a few via email. Looks like you've got it pulled up right here. So Game Stonk.
Yeah, this has been a popular ticker. Looks like we had a pretty big 3 and then a wave 4 triangle. We had a push up in wave 1, and we've been sideways for a little bit right at the 618. So it's possible we could dip a little lower into the golden zone before we get a push up in wave 3 here.
Nice. And I guess have you looked at BB? They've got earnings coming up this week.
BB?
Yeah.
Let's see.
BlackBerry, another meme name these days.
Let's see here. BlackBerry. Yeah, here we go. We had this big run up in the wave 1, and then we had an ABC wave 2. And it looks like this possibly could be a 1-2, and we're going up from here. Just have to watch this one and see what the price action does.
Nice, yeah. It'd be, if we see it going, maybe a little bit of an earnings run could be interesting. Try to squeeze out some more shorts on it. So good stuff there. Hey, I'm Mviz. What's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Dan, what's going on? Thanks for making it. Really appreciate it. Samara, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. So good evening. Gap up tomorrow. Well, that's we'll see if this bear trap ends up playing itself out. So Netflix, you just saw my take on Netflix on that one. So I'm looking at it for a potential bearish 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. So, but we really need to get some clarity on Netflix. It's just such a tough name these days, especially to swing. Even day trade. Sometimes we'll get some good day trades on it, but it's swing-wise, we really need to get out of that big range before we can get some clarity on it. So we've got that going on there too. So Brandon, it looks like we covered the ES a little bit ago. We looked at the Qs. Paul, do you have like the NQ, the Nasdaq futures? Possibly.
I could bring that up on a wave basis. Let's see here.
Oh, cool.
Maybe NQ.
Oh, they don't see this dollar sign.
Yeah, it looks like this is a 4-hour chart. Let me go to a daily here. I mean, it looks like we've been grinding up for a while. We had this impulse move going up, and let me put a count on here and see what we got.
Yeah, it looks pretty similar to your Qs count.
Yeah, it looks like this is like an impulse up, a wave 3, probably something like we'll have maybe a wave 4 down and then a wave 5 up, something like that. So we could still keep pushing up if the bear or the bulls show up tomorrow.
Nice. Cool. Good fun on that. Thanks, Brandon. Really appreciate it. Billy, what's going on? Good to see you. Tilray. Let's take a look at this one. So yeah, these pod names had some relative weakness on Friday.
Yeah, I thought they were going to bounce Friday, and they really didn't. Tilray is still going down, but it's in the golden zone. So, hopefully we'll get a bounce out of here and start wave three this week.
Nice. So Hash Brown, what's going on? Good to see you. $40,000 Bitcoin. It's going to the moon. The bulls are out. The bears are liquidated. Okay, where is it? How is Bitcoin looking, Paul?
Let me see Bitcoin. There's quite a few counts for Bitcoin. Let me see here. What I'm looking at right now, let me go to 4 hour. I think that this whole sideways mess here was a double combo and a push from wave three up to wave four. And I think we're going down in a wave five. So I still think we're going down to 27K, even though we do have this impulsive move up here. And there is a lot of buying support right around 30K and 31K.
Nice.
So we'll see if it makes it through here or not.
Yeah, it's still overall been pretty weak, and we've been talking about this a lot in the bubble report, guys. We've been putting some good levels out there. We talked about if it lost 38,000, right? We could see the next level down, and it did. The last bounce up had kind of low volume. We've been seeing some kind of weak days right there. So we'll see what kind of volume comes in here, and we'll see where it goes from there. Just be careful. I wouldn't go YOLO anything there, Hash. But it still could work on an impulsive wave up. But let's see how this wave ends up playing out. So good stuff there. Doug, what's going on? Good to see you. You've got a shop on the radar. Woo! What a name that was. We got folks in our group that got in this early last week at like $9 calls, and they went to like $90.
Yeah, this one's been on fire. We have a 1-2, and this wave three is just extending. It looks like we're extending in wave five. 1.618 extension is still up here, so could still keep going a little bit, I guess.
It could. So shop till it drops, but if it does pull back, looking to pull your Fibonacci's out and see how they go from there. So Rick, next Fed will come out, calm the market. There you go. That is a possibility. And then next you got POWW.
That's an interesting one. I might even have that on TradingView. Let's see.
Oh, yeah, it looks like you took a look at it.
Yeah, I was looking at this last week actually. No, this is a nice count. We got a 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, and we're going up. It looks like we're going up in an impulse. Wave one could continue higher, or we could get a nice little viable wave two pullback, and then we'll keep going up in wave three.
Nice. Good find on POWW. John Turner, what's going on? Good to see you. You got PD, Papa Delta.
Let's see here. PD. Don't have much on here. Looks like we've been pretty much sideways. This could easily be like a one. This could be a wave one right here, and then ABC down for two. And it looks like we're probably going up into wave three.
You're working on a wave three. Yeah, a little cup and handle in there is possible.
Yep.
Nice. And Mommy Perez, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. You've got AMD on the radar.
AMD, let's see.
AMD had a big move on Thursday, a little bit of a pause day yesterday. So let's see what it's got in store.
It's for AMD, I had as we did this long sideways move forward, took a lot of time. And then we had a punch up to finish wave five. And wave five finished exactly at its 618 extension. So I think there's a good chance this is a wave one, and we're going to get a wave two pullback.
Interesting. And also at the top of your channel there, too, just a little overshoot. Cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. And Mviz, you got PLTR on the radar.
PLTR, I think. Let's see here. This had a nice impulse up. This, again, looks like it could be at a top. We did have this 3-4, and then we've had this could be the top of wave five of one. I mean, it could keep stretching up, but we're due for a wave two pullback here.
Nice, yeah. So look for a little bit of a pullback on that one. And Aaron Nice, what's going on? Netflix is in a triangle, not a 1-2. Okay, well, yeah, it's possible. So like I said, I mean, the thing's been range bound forever. So right, we just need to keep an eye on it and see how it goes. So I'm just looking for it to move. So really, ultimately, you want to look at the bigger picture. I'm just looking for it to try to get an impulsive out of that range, right? So yeah, if it does a triangle breakdown or a reversal back up, it just needs to move, right? That's what we're looking on. So Brandon, AMD we looked at. Mike, what's going on? CCL, let's take a look.
CCL, let me bring that up here. CCL. Looks like this has been in pretty much a slow grind up here. Doesn't look like the strongest count either way. It looks, I'm getting a pretty bearish count right here, actually.
Oh wow, so a long ABC wave too. Wow, yeah.
Yeah, one, and then the sideways stuff is just the ABC, yeah, wave two. So kind of bearish on CCL.
Okay. Yeah, well, I mean, it doesn't surprise me. I mean, they really actually need to maybe book a few cruises before they can start getting bullish again. Instead of continuing to refinance debt and look for handouts, right? So we got that going on. Fast Johnny, what's going on? SOFI. Let's take a look at it.
SOFI. Let's see here. It's a new one on me, and it's not showing up there. Let's see if TradingView's got it. SOFI. Huh. Looks like I did have a count on here.
Okay, yeah, Sophie's been an interesting one. It's come up a couple times.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This could be an ABC, and we're going up in a wave 3, but this is also looking like a triangle. I might need to recount this one. This could be the top of wave 3, and this is an ABC wave 4. So right now it looks kind of sideways, and see if we break out of this triangle.
Okay. Yeah, definitely something to keep an eye on. They're getting tight in there. Fast Johnny. We'll see how it goes. And then POWW looking good on the monthly. Nice. And Mike, so you got another one off of that kind of that CCL, AAL. You got a couple of these kind of transport names. Yeah, let's take a look at AAL. How's American Airlines looking?
AAL, I think that's just been dive bombing. Let's see here. AAL, yeah. We are actually past the 618 here. We're just dipping way down. This would be, with the overlap, would be an expanding diagonal. But yeah, this has just been bearish under the ADMA. Now we're under the 618. We're under the cloud. So until we get a move through the EMA 8, I would, still kind of bearish on this one.
Yeah, absolutely. Doug, yeah, also call out on that. And by the way, yeah, Shop, yeah, Paul helped a lot of folks find Shop with some good wave counts on that one. A lot of big trades on that one this week in the group. Really cool stuff. And Doug, so you got one more. You got Google, Googl on the radar.
Google. Let's see, I had Google going up in 3-4. We finished a wave 1 here. Looks to me like we're doing a wave 2 pullback in Google before we start going up again.
Okay. Yeah, let's keep an eye on it. Yeah, it looks like it could be a flat. Might see a little fifth wave down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down to finish that wave 2. So we'll see how that goes. Good stuff there. And then the Nest, CELH. CELH is actually a energy drink company. For some reason, I thought it was like a biotech name.
Interesting. Let's see what we get here. This looks like a 3.
Yeah.
Here.
A rough
3,
pullback the other day is
4.
kind of looking bear flaggish, but we'll see. It might just be just a little retrace.
Yeah. So we had this 1, 2, and then another 1, 2. This looks like an impulsive move up for a wave 1, and looks like we're working on it. Probably an ABC for a wave 2 here. Something like that.
Nice. Okay, yeah, very possible in that one. I know the CEO is dedicated, so good stuff there. At least that's what I hear. And then AV8 Neo. Let's take a look at Neo. We haven't looked at that one in a little bit.
Neo. I think Neo, I was looking at it as a short. Let's see here. Neo's a pretty interesting impulse here. We have this strong wave 3. Wave 5, we get this overlapping diagonal. And wave 5 finished almost to the tick at its 618. So, and this looks pretty bearish candles up here. So I'm thinking we're going to get a wave 2 pullback in Neo. I don't know if it'll go all the way to the 618, but I think we're going to get a pullback.
Might be due for a pullback on Neo. Nice. Good find on that one. Cool one. What's going on? Hey, John and Paul, thanks for the learning lesson. Yeah, our pleasure. We love doing it. And so cool one. So FOUR, the number basically 4. And you said you're looking for a weekly breakout. Can you explain how to figure out the upper target?
Up 4. Let me see if I can find it in here on the weekly, huh? Let's see here. Weekly.
Yeah, it's getting
I
kind
haven't
of tight
looked
in
at
there.
this one in a while. It does look like a nice grind up. This is probably it's probably a 1, 2 here. Got that's a
1,
3,
2,
4.
3, 4. So maybe you can get a 618 extension on that.
Yeah, like if I was on TradingView, I'd pull it and there'd be a 618 extension on weight basis. It does look a little different. But let's see here. We're getting the 382 is about 146.07 for a wave 5, something like that.
Okay. So that's possible. Yeah. So just see how that goes in the wave five. Again, wave fives, there's no guarantee how high they're gonna go. But usually, like we do, like Paul, don't we just drag it from the two to the four, two to the three to the four, and then do a 618?
Yeah, exactly. It ends
Yeah.
up being the
I'll
six
show
one
you.
eight.
Yeah, I'll show you
Yeah.
your cool one. Yeah. So all you got to do is you go to FOUR. We'll see what it pulls up here on the weekly. So what you do is you go, if this is a 1-2, you just grab your extension tool here. Right. You start here. You go up and you go through the two to the three to the four, and then you look for the 618, right, which is right there at about 119, 120. Okay, so just that could be a potential wave five extension on that if this count is good, right? The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So definitely something to keep an eye on there too. So good stuff. What else? What else? So let's see. So we're kind of getting a little close on time. So let's just double check and see what else we got out here. M King, what's going on? Good to see you. So you're short Walmart and Starbucks. Are we seeing any downside on either of those?
Ooh, wow! Look at Walmart. On the weekly here. Let's see here. This is probably the end of wave one right here. We're probably in a wave two pullback for Walmart. Let's see fib wise where we're at here. So this is the wave one up. I'm going to pull my retracement tool up and drop a fib. We're not to the 618 yet, but usually the 618, 786 is where we might get a bounce. So we might get a bounce out of this area for a wave three up in Walmart.
Okay, so just be a little bit careful on those shorts. If you get a gap down there, don't be afraid to move your stops. How about Starbucks? Let's take a look at it.
Let's see Starbucks.
It's a tough name to trade. Sometimes it'll give you some good
Let's
moves.
see if I have it on here. Hold on.
S Bucks.
S Bucks. I think I got that on here.
It's kind of ABC-ish there, yeah.
Yeah. S Bucks. It's the weekly. Looks like we're kind of consolidating on the weekly. Go to a daily here. Looks like this week is an impulse up, and this is some kind of
Maybe
probably
a
a
wave
wave.
4 triangle, maybe.
Yeah, likely. Yeah, this is it's kind of garbled on wave basis, but this is probably a three, and this is probably some kind of four, and then we'll get a five push up.
Nice, yeah. So be careful on the short side there if with that one, M King. So it looks like we at least have some divergences on it. So we see some bullish counts on it. So a little careful there. Good, Fast John. Yeah, we looked at BB a little bit earlier. John, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. Etsy.
Let's see. Etsy had this triangle, and then we came down for a wave four. It looks like we've been expecting a push up here, but we've just been sideways for a while now in a wave two.
Yeah, yeah, I know. It's just getting really, really tight. I'm waiting for it to move one way or the other on that one. All right, guys, we got one more here and a couple questions. So we got Mviz for Add Me You Random.
And there's
It's been a popular name too.
yeah, some people have been trading this in the group. So we got 1, 2, 3. This is a pretty deep four, but looks like we're going down, testing the 618 here.
Nice. Okay, good.
In a wave four, it could turn into a triangle, or it could just be an A, B, C, and then we'll end up going up.
Mm-hmm. Nice, good find on that one. Good stuff, guys. So yeah, Doug. So what are we talking about? The group. The group that we're talking about, guys, is Paul and I are in a Discord through positive-trends.com. Be sure to check out the links in the description there. We do a couple different things. We have some publications. Right, we got our weekly newsletter. We also have our daily report that goes out each market morning, which is called the Bubble Report. So you can get that. You can also upgrade to the group in there. But it's a Discord group with a private Twitter and a Discord. And Paul runs the Elliott Wave channel in there. And yeah, so Paul runs the Elliott Wave channel in there, and does a great job, answers questions. So if you guys like bouncing Elliott Wave counts, against a great Elliottician, he's definitely a good place to do that with. I go live at the open and the close, and we look for trade ideas, and we work together as a group. Yeah, so a lot of people got long and shop. A lot of folks were looking at it in the group. Of course, members, of course, do their own ideas too. Some bounce ideas off of Paul, and then they decide whether or not they're going to get long in it or not. So Paul will look at shop. So I didn't trade shop. It's just one I don't trade, but I know some folks did really incredibly well on that one. So they were just gearing up for a move on that, and got a good stuff. So yeah, so if you're different, check it out. Check out the links in the description there. You can kind of explore that on our website, and yeah, good stuff. So So it's a great group, very very nice people. Cool one, yeah, my pleasure. Ollie Wally, you get the backstory on John and Paul. Yeah, we'll do that one day. I guess we can look at one more chart here for Yaz before we go. SKLZ, the skills.
SKLZ. SKLZ. This looks pretty nice. It looks like we had this push up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for a wave 1. And then we had a wave 2. The buyer stepped in before the 618. And if I look at a smaller time frame, this to me looks like a wave 1 leading diagonal with a lot of overlap. So I could drop another fib in here. I would say look for a pullback just around the 618 area, like around in this box, and then we should probably get a push up out of here for skills.
Nice. Keep an eye on skills. What skills? To pay the bills. I like it. Good stuff. All right, guys. Well, awesome. Really appreciate the request tonight. Great questions. Hopefully you guys found today's discussion on the bear trap edifying. So I know I enjoyed it. And Paul, great job. Thanks again for showing up here tonight and going over your ideas and your accounts.
Yeah, you're welcome. Good times.
And again, guys, thanks again, everybody, so much for tuning in. We'll see you guys bright and early tomorrow morning here on YouTube for the Good Morning Market Prep video. And, of course, with our group, we'll see you guys in the Bubble Report in the Discord, too. So I hope everybody has a wonderful evening. And, again, thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Stay healthy out there. And remember your risk first and stay safe so you can stay in the game. And we'll talk to you